2nd, 2025, Frisco, Texas. A high school track meet. It was raining. 17 years old. 17 years old. Two families. One tent. One knife. One decision. Now one life is gone and one is to the system for 35 years. This is called 35 years in the rain. Get into this one. I need everybody to take a breath with me because we're about to talk about two 17-year-old boys, two families, and a system that was supposed to sort it all out. Sit with that. Two 17-year-old boys. We're about to tell the story. Sit tight after the intro. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Rugged Talk Podcast, the only podcast where we go where the conversation is too uncomfortable for everybody else to go. I'm your host, Adrian. Today we talk about the Karmelo Anthony story. And we're going to start with the facts. So here we go. April 2nd, 2025, Frisco, Texas. It's a school day. Multiple high school students from Frisco Independent School District are competing at a track and field meet at Q Kendall Stadium. It starts raining, and I want you to remember that fact. And if you've been to any kind of outdoor sporting event in the rain, you know what happens. Everybody scrambles for cover. A 17-year-old named Karmelo Anthony, student at Centennial High School, football player. He was an honor roll student, 3.7 GPA. He was working two jobs at the time. He found his way under a tent designated for Memorial High School. That's a different school. Wrong tent. A 17-year-old named Austin Metcalf, a student at Memorial High School, is a junior. He has a twin brother. They seize Karmelo there, and they tell him, you have to get off from under this tent. You have to leave. Now, what happens next is where the story kind of split. The prosecution says Karmelo provoked the confrontation, that he pulled out a hitting 3.5-inch folding blade and launched a, quote, sneak attack on an unarmed victim. Defense says Metcalf and his twin brother physically confronted Karmelo, that Karmelo feared for his life, that in a split second of chaos, he used the knife because he thought he had no choice. Either way, Austin Metcalf died that evening. He was 17 years old. And I want you to hold both families in your heart because this is not about who's the villain, who's the hero. Both of these families lost something on April 2nd that they will never get back. Two destroyed families. And everything I'm about to say comes from that place. Not anger, not politics, grief. But here's a real question. How do we keep this from happening again? Now, I want you to picture this. Rainy day, high school track meet. You got teenagers everywhere, and we all know how teenagers are. They smell like Axe body spray and bad decisions. They all crammed under a whatever tent they can find. Bored, they're wet, they're agitated, and somewhere in the middle of all that beautiful chaos, a 17-year-old boy is sitting under that tent, minding his own business. And somebody tells him, you gotta move, or even better, you have to leave. Now, in every high school in America, I mean every high school in America, there's a kid who's gonna say, make me. That's me. I was that kid. I wasn't going for it. I'm still not to this day. That's not being a black. That's not a black thing. That's not a white thing. That's a respect thing. That's universal. That's timeless. That's a Thursday afternoon at a track meet thing. We all have a story of someone trying to make you move or do something that you don't want to do, and you thought, I'm not going for it. I'm not moving. But here's the question I have. Where were the adults doing all of this? I'm going to ask this question in multiple ways because I need somebody to answer it. Where in the hell was the adults when this argument started escalating? Where was the coaches? Where was the administrators, the teachers, the staff? You got multiple schools competing. You got 17-year-olds in a rain delay, and everybody's bored and wet and crowded, and not one adult intervened before this escalated past words. What was the adults who could have said, "Hey, come on over here to our tent," or "Hey, everybody, calm down, everybody." You got thousands of things adults could have said to teenagers who are 30 seconds away from making the worst decision of life. And I'm not saying adults cause this, no, but supervision at the school events is not optional. It's required. So where was it? And here's another question that's being overlooked. I'm talking about the deeper one. Why did Karmelo feel he needed to have a knife anyway? Why did he need to carry one to a school track meet? Think about what we do know as facts about Karmelo Anthony. He had a 3.7 GPA. He was working 2 jobs, football player. This is not no trouble kid by any metric we use to label kids today. This is a kid doing exactly what we tell our young man to do. Stay in school, get good grades, work hard, be responsible. And he still felt unsafe enough that he needed to carry a knife to that track meet, to a school wherever he went. What does that tell you about the environment that kid was navigating in? About the spaces where young black men never quite know if they feel welcome or not. Well, one wrong look can turn into an altercation you didn't even start. What's the option when things go physical have been narrowed down to either you gonna fight or you gonna flight? Because nobody in that young man's life have ever sat down and taught him a third option. That's the pipeline. See, right there, that's how every 17-year-old ends up in the system. And it's not even because they're bad, but because the environment around them has failed them long before any courtroom ever could. That's why my organization represents and what we represent. And that's what we stand for and fight for every day. Okay, let's talk about the trial, because this is where the RPR in me has to speak. So the trial was held in Collin County, Texas, McKinney. Karmelo Anthony is a black kid, and the jury of 12 who decided his fate, 0 black jurors, not one. You will never see a case with an all-black jury with a white defendant on trial with a black victim. Not going to happen, not in this America. Now, I want to be precise here. I throw accusations without facts, so let me give you those facts. So the defense raised in this court, they filed what's called a batson challenge, a legal objection that says you cannot use peremptory strikes to remove jurors because of their race. Now, the defense argued that 3 black female prospective juries was removed by the prosecution. So the prosecution explanation was those 3 women was educators. And in a case involving schools and students, they didn't want educators to be on the jury. So the judge, they denied the challenge. Well, he denied the challenge. So in Collin County, Texas, which is approximately 11% black, seated 12 jurors, and none of them was black in a case with a black defendant. And the only official explanation is that they were all teachers. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I can't read minds. I don't want to say what's in the prosecution's heart when they made those strikes. What I can read is history. And history in this country has very specific pattern when it comes to black defendants, with white victims in jury composition. The 6th Amendment guarantees you the right to impartial jury. Impartial doesn't mean look nothing like you. It means free from bias. And there is significant peer review research on this shows that racial diverse juries deliberate more carefully, consider more perspectives, and reach more equal decisions. So the question isn't just whether the juries was removed because they were black. The question is, in a racially charged case, in a historically conservative Texas county with a black defendant and a white victim, is 0 representation the foundation is fair? Is that a foundation for a fair trial? I'll let you sit on it. Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, let me be very careful here because I want to be fair to both cases. Now, fair doesn't mean equal, it means honest. In 2020, Kyle Rittenhouse, 17 years old, white from Antioch, Illinois, crossed state lines with an AR-15 style rifle, went to Kenosha, Wisconsin in the middle of an unrest following the police shooting of Jacob Blake, shot 3 people, he killed 2, he claimed self-defense, and he was acquitted of all charges in November 2021. In November 2025, Karmelo Anthony, 17 years old, black from Frisco, Texas, was at a school event in his own district, had a 3.5-inch pocket knife, was involved in a physical confrontation, stabbed 1 person, killed 1 person, claimed self-defense, convicted of murder, sentenced to 35 years. Are these cases identical? No. The weapons are different. The scenes are different. The circumstances are different. I'm not here to tell you they are the same. But what I am going to say, Kyle Rittenhouse left his home state with a military-style weapon to go to a protest. Karmelo went to a school track meet. Kyle Rittenhouse bond was set at $2 million, which was posted by supporters. Karmelo Anthony bond was $1 million, which had to be reduced before his family could even get him home. Kyle Rittenhouse acquitted. Karmelo Anthony, 35 years. Same age, both claim self-defense, very different outcomes. And I'm just going to ask the question that's floating in the air. The question that the prosecutor literally told the jury in his opening statement that, and I quote, "This case is not about race." When a case is so not about race that you have to tell the jury that it's not about race, it might just be about race. Here's why I landed the plane, because I didn't bring you all the way here just to leave you angry. It's not what I do. We talk about the rugged, and then we talk about the righteous. So Karmelo Anthony was a 17-year-old boy. He had a 3.7 GPA. He was working 2 jobs. He was somebody's son. He had a future. And yes, he made a decision on April 2nd, 2025 that cost another man his life. That is real. I won't minimize it. Austin Metcalf's family will grieve forever. His brother will grow up without his brother. His mother will carry that weight every single day. That is real. But a 17-year-old boy is going to prison for 35 years. Both these things are tragic. Both deserve our grief. And both deserve a question. What do we do differently? Because here's what I know from RPRF. I'm working with men and women coming home from incarceration. From my own experience, the prison doesn't fix the problem. The prison delays it, and it multiplies it. You take a 17-year-old boy who was doing everything right by every measurable standard, and you put him in a cell until he's nearly 50, and then you ask, what comes out the other side? That is on us, on the adults who were working at that track meet when they should have been, on the system that made a kid feel he needed a weapon just to get through a school event, on the structures that may have let biased influences set on that jury, on everyone who walks away from this verdict satisfied while a mother wept on the witness stand begging for mercy for her child. We keep building prisons instead of building kids. We keep building and keep funding punishment instead of funding peace. And then we act surprised, and then when the pipeline fills up. Don't forget, someone is always watching how you handle the rain. Always. That's it. And that's the whole episode. If you feel this, share it. This conversation needs to happen in every barbershop, every church, every kitchen table in America right now. Because 2 families are destroyed. And until we figure out how to be the adults in the room, this will keep happening. This is Adrian. This is Rugged Talk Podcast. Please visit our website, ruggedpastRighteousFuture.org. See you next time.
way. South Carolina raised me. The struggle gave me vision. Every scar on my back became a part of my mission. They locked brothers up and forgot them in the system. I said not on my watch. Started RPRF to lift them. Safe harbor for the women, second chances for the men. Rugged paths don't define you, you can rise again. This is Rugged Talk. No filter, no facade, just a man and a mic, and the truth of where we are. Rugged Talk. Culture, community, real. If you lived it, you know it. This is how it feels. Play